Hello and welcome to today's show. I'm Jamie Smith, Cancer Control Specialist with the Kentucky Cancer Program. Part of the Kentucky Cancer Program's mission is to decrease the incidence of cancer mortality across the state as well as the incidence of cancer. And so we do that by, of course, focusing on cancer prevention. Some of the ways that you can reduce your cancer risk is to avoid tobacco, limiting alcohol intake, protecting your skin from the sun, and maintaining a healthy weight. Diet and exercise are both significant factors that help prevent cancer, as well as heart disease, diabetes, and other chronic illness. Today, I'm joined by Kaylene Cornell from the Purchase District Health Department, and she's going to talk to us today a little bit about some of these factors that we can do to help decrease our risk for cancer, and then also just maintain a healthy lifestyle. So Kaylene, first of all, if you would, just talk to us a little bit about yourself and exactly what you do at the Purchase District Health Department.
All right. Well, my family and I are originally from Minnesota. We've lived here now 8 years and have learned to love Kentucky with its with its beauty and just the family-oriented communities. So we really have enjoyed Kentucky. And as you said, I am the health education coordinator, which with the Purchase District Health Department, which primarily is I choose programs and help facilitate to educate our community within our district for health education needs that our district shows.
Okay, great. I'm sure that there's lots of different programs that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, but first of all, let's kind of drill down into the meat of what we're talking about today. One of the major factors, of course, is healthy lifestyle. And we're going to talk about being overweight. The statistics show that a lot of Americans are overweight, and a lot of that has to do with maybe our eating habits and also our physical activity. But where exactly does Kentucky line up in those statistics with the nation?
Well, over the last 3 decades, the problem has been increasingly throughout, and Kentucky is no different than our nation. Matter of fact, nearly 1 in 3 of our young Americans are overweight or have obesity, and 1/3 of adults are obese. So that really, shows the problem. Right. The U.S. Surgeon General has called it really the greatest threat to our public health because it is related to so many other chronic diseases and the crux of the problem of many issues. Kentucky had a study done through the Kentucky Institute of Medicine in 2007, and it has shown, it kind of gave us a picture, an overall look of how Kentucky's doing, not only comparing county to county, but also what does our state look compared to the nation's statistics. And one of the major challenges that showed up in the study was a combination of obesity and lack of physical activity. And it showed only 10 of Kentucky's counties above the national average for physical activity. However, it showed 78 counties that were above the national average for obesity. So that really shows that Kentucky is needing to make a change.
Definitely over 50% because there's 120 counties in Kentucky.
Correct.
So that's pretty alarming for us to take note of.
It really is, and it, like I said, has huge impact for our health when it comes being involved with other chronic diseases. Specifically speaking, for the Purchase District oversees 7 counties, and those counties being McCracken, Carlisle, Hickman, Fulton, Callaway, Graves, and Ballard, yes. And with the study, it showed that Ballard, Carlisle, Fulton, and Hickman were all above the national average for obesity. Graves was close to it. Callaway was the only one that showed less than the national statistics. So
not too good.
Yeah.
So that makes you have a lot more work to do, right?
It does. It shows that we all need to make a change for the better.
Definitely a big need in our area.
Yeah.
All right. So we've talked about we're definitely above the numbers with you talked about obesity and lack of physical activity, but what are those reasons that those factors are actually present in our community?
Well, the obesity and lack of physical activity adds to many chronic diseases. In 2009, the Cancer Society estimated a little over 9,000 cases of cancer in Kentucky. Kentucky in 2001 tied at the 18th place nationally in the greatest percentage of diabetes, and in 2008 was the 9th highest in the nation.
For diabetes too?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
one thing about diabetes some people may not know, what are the warning signs of diabetes for people to be able to kind of, maybe they need to go talk to their doctor about that?
Well, it would be a sudden weight change, where they're losing weight, extremely tired, they're going to the bathroom more often. Just some of those are some of the
Warning signs. Some symptoms they just need to get checked out. May not be diabetes, but warning signs.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, just to kind of talk about some other chronic diseases that come about from this study is that it showed Ballard ranked worst with cardiovascular deaths, also high rates of diabetes there, the high rates of breast cancer and prostate cancer. So also Carlisle County was showing the same with cardiovascular and high breast cancer rates there. McCracken and Callaway overall showed fairly healthy, but still had high numbers for lung cancer and breast cancer. And Fulton Graves and Hickman also showed high numbers in obesity, lack of physical activity, prevalence of diabetes, lung and colon rectal. There's just a lot of chronic disease that can be related to the obesity. Another chronic disease that has shown up is asthma in our district also. And that is showing that in Kentucky, asthma is the third leading cause of hospitalization and one of the top leading causes for school absenteeism. So we're seeing that affecting our children.
Young children. Yeah, I know several people that actually their children have asthma and allergies and all that. And definitely finding it earlier, I think, in childhood now than before. Whenever I was younger, we never had any friends with asthma. So.
Yeah. But I think, as you said, the reason or the cause, it's hard to put one reason to it, but definitely the sedentary lifestyle, just not enough exercise, and eating the high calorie and high fat foods that are out there is definitely causing the problem for obesity to show up. And I think also the education, you think by now everyone knows, well, what would be the easiest answer to prevent obesity? Well, that would be to cut back and do exercise. But I don't think our community as a whole really understands just how important, and I think that education piece is still very important to be out there to teach how can you cut back and how can you make better, healthier choices with your foods and physical activity, and that it doesn't take that much exercise to help combat against obesity.
So if someone's out there today and they're kind of wondering, maybe they don't know exactly what they're supposed to be eating, what would be a good, percentage-wise of meal for a person a day? We always talk about, getting in your fruits and vegetables, but how many should a person really eat each day?
Well, it's one thing when you look at your plate, you want to make sure that there's color to the plate. If you have all brown as your high color, you've missed something. Okay, you definitely want to look for color. But also, if you can think of 5 fruits and vegetables a day, I mean that's what you want to be striving for. If you eat more, that's great. But for sure you want to get the 5 fruits and vegetables in. Yeah, and as a whole country, we definitely have no problem getting enough of our meats in. That seems to be real easy for people to get plenty of protein in, but it's the fruits and vegetables and really just the portion control and just being aware.
And one thing you talked about with portion control, you just said we don't have any problems getting our protein in. Absolutely not, because when you go out to a restaurant, I mean, the portion that they actually serve you of that, meat, or even at home, it's not really the portion we're supposed to be eating, right?
Right. Yeah. It's amazing what has. The portions that they give are definitely way over than what you should have. A good habit would be when you get your plate, just to ask for a take home and cut it in half right there. That would help because they are larger portions. When you think of going into a fast food place and you order your favorite sandwich with French fries and a pop, and it puts you up to 1,500 calories in one meal, and that's only at fast food places. So if you go to a sit-down meal, it's even going to be more than that. So
not going to lose weight with 1,500 calories in one meal, right?
Right.
I've heard that maybe even like a deck of cards is a good measurement for your meat portion.
Right. Yeah, or the palm of your hand.
Okay.
Yes.
My dad can have a bigger portion
and
than I can.
really, and beans are, a much healthier choice for, rather than, meat, even. It's, lower in cholesterol, obviously.
Right.
So, it's always good to, search the leaner meats, but you definitely want to remember the portion too.
Okay. And then if we could just real briefly, let's talk about, and this is something I've just recently really started studying hard, was like the fats. What's a good fat? What's a bad fat? Can you kind of talk about that at all?
Well, they have the letters out, the LDL, HDL, and the cholesterol and triglycerides. It's just very important for you to know your numbers. And really the best thing is when you go in for your checkup to just, write it down. Start with your blood pressure, write that down.
Okay.
So you keep your own personal medical history yourself. Even though the clinic keeps it up, it's good for you to know. But the HDL is what you want to be the higher number.
Okay.
The LDL is what you definitely want to be, lower. So the LDL, you would like to have it under 100. The HDL, you definitely want to be higher than 50. Yeah. They're actually even they're becoming they're less conservative with these numbers. So
Times are
they're
changing.
even yeah.
Okay. And now we definitely want to stay away from trans fat, right? That's the bad fat you definitely don't want to eat.
Right. Saturated fats and trans fats. I think trans fats, because of education and our public being more aware, they're looking at the food labels and are starting to shy away from the foods that had a lot of trans fats. And the people who are making these products are aware of that. And so trans fats are eventually going to, I think, just kind of disappear because they know people are not wanting to buy it, but there's always going to be the saturated fats, and it's best to use more of the
good fats.
Yeah.
Well, it'd make my shopping a lot easier if they take away all those trans fats.
Yeah.
I don't have to read the labels maybe as closely. Well, we're going to take just a short break, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about ways that we can maintain a healthy lifestyle and also learn about some of the programs that the Purchase District Health Department offer to the community. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Today I'm joined by Kaylene with the Purchase District Health Department, and we're talking about cancer prevention and in depth with basically physical activity and nutrition is one of the major things that we can control. And of course, Kaylene's got a lot of information for us today and some good programs too that are available that she does do out in the community. And so we've been talking a lot about nutrition, and we want to take a little bit too and talk about physical activity, because not everybody has to go out and run, a 5K for them to get good exercise. So let's talk about some of those other options for people out there.
Sure. For adults, they really need to do at least 30 minutes a day, and that can be broken down. It doesn't have to be the full, 30 minutes. And when you think about it, 30 minutes is not that long. That you can find, 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there. Children need to be putting in at least 60 minutes of physical activity, of playtime, and I think that is being lost with a lot of screen time, and
Right.
videos has really affected that.
Yeah, because those are good babysitters sometimes, right? Yeah, I know. And a lot of that, sometimes it's easier when it's warmer outside to get outside more, let the kids outside and run around. It's kind of harder maybe sometimes in the winter. You don't want kids running around. But they definitely do need that exercise. So let's talk about different ways that maybe they can get that exercise, and also adults. Adults always, it seems like there's always different things that they think that they can't do, and there's things that they are doing that they don't really realize it is exercise.
Right, yeah. Exercise doesn't mean just going to a workout place and lifting weights. Walking is one of the best exercises, whether you walk leisurely or whether you walk as if you're late for an appointment. It depends on how much time you need to put in,
Right.
as to how many calories you're going to be losing. But it definitely is. I wrote down just a few things here. Just walking for 30 minutes leisurely, you can burn 85 calories. So but if you step that up, you can burn more calories, approximately about 170 calories by walking, quicker in 30-minute period. Even raking leaves or working outside, gardening, right there is, you can burn 145 calories. And you really don't think of just your day-to-day activities
Right.
is truly physical activity,
Right. Build some muscles doing that too.
That's right. Yeah. Or even vacuuming the house, or but the best thing is taking the stairs instead of an elevator if you have, or just going up and down steps is a good exercise.
Right.
Which you can do at home.
Yeah.
So.
Or even parking out maybe the end of the aisle
That's
and
right.
walking
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Instead of driving around looking for
Waiting.
that close spot, which we've all been guilty for. But there are times that it's really best to just go for that last spot and hike it in, and
And then
that
the
helps.
shopping cart won't hit your car either, right?
That's right. That's right.
Take the few extra steps.
Yeah.
Well, one thing too, whenever we talk about kids' activities, what's going on in the schools? What kind of physical activity are the kids exposed to each day in schools now?
Well, unfortunately, some of the schools, because of budget cuts, have had to cut back with their PE time. They've cut back during their lunchtime,
Right.
and so it's just mainly eating your lunch and then off to classes again. So with recess and PE, getting cut or at least getting shortened, it doesn't allow the kids to play like they really need. They need that
Right.
downtime and to get in the physical activity. So by the time they get home from school, they really need
They need to get out there and get their activity in.
That's right, yeah. Whether it's biking or because a lot of communities are working on their sidewalks and
Right.
Working on that, and so that provides for a better place, or just kicking the ball around, or getting together with a friend and playing tag, or just those simple games, or games that you can even get under $20 that you can go to Walmart and
Right.
buy, really provide some good physical activity, and also helps with family time too.
Definitely. That's one things that I enjoy the most is just chasing my little boy around. And,
Yeah.
you know, yesterday we did that. We took advantage of some better weather. And
That's
got out
right,
there
yeah.
and
I
played.
mean, Kentucky is a whole lot better than Minnesota most of the time for being outside and enjoying the, you know, the warm air, so.
And take advantage of the parks that are in our area too to get out there and
That's
make
right.
a family day.
Yeah.
Pack a healthy lunch and play outside, right?
Right, yeah, take a couple minutes longer rather than going through drive-through, you know.
Right.
Just, you know, get a sack lunch and having a picnic. I don't think picnics are done as often as they were.
Right, yeah, we went on them all the time when we were kids.
Yeah.
One thing too, we talked about fast food. You know, it is simple sometimes to just go through the drive-through and just grab it, but you know, careful planning, quick and easy things you can take.
Absolutely.
You know, fruit and veggies are the easiest thing just to pop in and snack on while you're going. There's no, you don't have to prepare it. You know, you can just eat it the way it is.
Yeah, it's really a win-win. It helps for cost-wise. It helps for you know, just being able to try different foods. You know, when your children can help in the decision process of what I want in my, you know, sack lunch, and you know, try, you know, different fruits and vegetables with their sandwiches. It's a, you know, it's a good thing.
And even my little boy's too, but he loves to pick the grapes off the stems to put them in the bowl. You know, he feels like he's helping.
Right.
So little things that they can do to help.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about the programs that you do in the community, because there's several programs that you've gone out to do these educations with the community so that they can make those changes in their life. And a lot of your programs start early in life in the schools, and so you're making the impact there, and hopefully those children are also taking that news home with them to their parents to be able to educate their parents on the changes that they need in life.
Right, yeah.
So you can just start with whatever program you want to talk about first, and let us know what it's about and what the participants are actually learning.
Okay. Well, one of the newer programs that we started with was the Shears Kinetics, and that is primarily for 4th grade through middle school. It's a 3-day program that we go into the schools, and the first day we talk about fast foods and junk food. You know, what really is junk food and how it has more calories than it has nutrition value, and we have them look at menus that have the amounts of the fat and the salt and sugar and calorie content in the meals. And so they have to choose, by looking at those, choose a healthy meal compared to an unhealthy meal.
Good.
And hopefully to open their eyes up what their favorite meal at a fast food place, you know, how many calories it really is. And sometimes, you know, just a salad isn't necessarily the healthiest. It all depends on what kind of salad dressing and what you put on it, you know. So then the second day we talk about milk and dairy servings that you need in a day, and you know, 25 years ago they were drinking twice the amount of milk that they are today, whereas today it's the opposite. They're drinking more soda compared to their milk intake. And then we talk about the importance of breakfast. And then the third day they work through, and it is quite an aerobic workout where they have a fitness aerobic obstacle course.
I bet they enjoy
they
that.
do. They really do. That's they you know, we worked with them for 2 days, and then the third day it's just a fun day.
Fun time.
Yeah.
Now you said breakfast too, and that's one thing adults often skip out on too. And you know, it's very important for adults to get breakfast in too, because it's the whole metabolism thing, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we only have 3 meals, so you know, why would you want to skip one of them? If we had 10, it'd be different, you know. But when you only have 3, you know, each one is important for a reason, and as you're sleeping, you're still burning calories. So when you wake up in the morning, you really need to kind of kickstart that metabolism. It just helps for concentration, helps for memory. It helps your metabolism get going, so you're burning the calories rather than storing them, and it just helps for you to help maintain a healthier weight, because you don't have that binge eating, because you're not focused by 10 o'clock, you know, on what food can I eat, you know, how quick can I get to that food.
Hold me over.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over a few more programs that you have before We run out of time today.
Yeah, and another one was for the younger kids, the Eat Smart and Play Hard, and again, that's the breakfast one.
Okay.
And then we talk, another program is the My Pyramid, and that is just, showing them, first of all, it's called My Pyramid for help for them to take ownership on what choices they make. And for a healthy breakfast, you need to have at least 3 of the 5 food groups to have a healthy breakfast. And 2 of the other programs that our district office offers is the WIC program, and that is, to help a healthier growth pattern for babies, and to provide supplemental healthy foods, for families who have, a need for supplemental foods. And also we have a medical nutritionist that does counseling for people who can come in and make an appointment, who have questions about, their nutrition or their concerns.
Well, great. Well, the Purchase District Health Department certainly offers a lot of different programs in the community, and a lot of different things that they can definitely take advantage of. And a lot of it is in the schools. You do some community classes as well. So we'll give the number in a little bit so that they can call too. But for, you said you have a diabetes class that you do in the community.
Yes, they have like a management, self-management, and a basics class that's in every county. We also have tobacco that is helping with, facilitates with hospitals and also in our health departments. That Cooper Clayton class is a 12-week program that is, over 40% successful. It's an excellent class that really has helped a lot of people quit smoking. There's also a new program that, of course, you have the 1-800-QUIT line where you can call and talk to a smoking cessationist specialist, but there's a new program that's a great website, and it is becomeanx.org. And that's a real creative website that you can get a lot of information off of.
An online community type thing. Great.
Yes.
Well, Kaylene, you certainly shared a lot of good information with us today. And again, I know that we could have talked another hour or so about all the programs, but we do appreciate you coming out today. And if you all would like more information on any of the programs that the Purchase District Health Department would offer, feel free to call them at 270-247-1490. Thank you for joining us today, and we hopefully you have learned ways that you can help reduce your risk for cancer and overall maintain a healthy lifestyle. If you have any more questions about today's show, contact us at the Kentucky Cancer Program at 442-1310. Thanks for joining us.